Boy, if you don't get...
So what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to some more Destiny. So we are going to be going over the weekly vendor resets and showing you some of the best weapons. So to start off, Future War Cult doesn't have anything at all. Hideo continues to get the shaft. I mean, I'll show you possibly the best thing he has if you absolutely want it. So I promise you, he really doesn't have much. Poor Hideo, he never gets anything good. So this right here is probably the best thing that he has, the free will hand cannon, and it's still not that good. For one, it doesn't have any of the decent sights, the true sight or the sure shot. I guess quick draw is the best one out of all these. I'm not too sure. I know sure shot and true sight are two of the best though. But I mean, you have explosive rounds, either hammer forged or outlaw, and then reactive reload. So not really the best hand cannon. I mean, if you just like stuff from Future War Cult, you can get it, but otherwise I would just save off because it's really not that good. Just take a second and look how pretty the tower is right now. That scenery though. So moving on from what seems to be one of the worst vendors each week to what seems to be one of the best vendors each week. So first off, from the Crucible Quartermaster, we have the Hero Formula. Now this is a pretty good PvP role without a doubt. So for one, it has the MD Reflex Sight, which personally I think is really good. But if you don't like that, you have the Focus Lens or the OEG Rifle Scope. But for the first perks, you can either choose between Rodeo or Take a Knee. Now Take a Knee actually got a really big buff, so it's a pretty good perk now. I think for the most part, I would still probably use Rodeo because I just don't see myself sitting in one place too long. I know you can like do like a little slide, and at the end of your slide, it'll activate this for a second or something like that. But I think I'm still just going to choose Rodeo. Then after that, you have Hand Laid Stock to increase the stability even more, and then Hidden Hand to get those crispy headshots because it increases your target acquisition. So if you don't have a good PvP scout rifle, this one is definitely pretty dang good. Then after that, this is without a doubt the best weapon this week. It seems like this has been a good weapon every week now. So we have the Palindrome once again. Now, if you missed out on the Palindrome that they had in Rise of Iron for the Crucible vendor, this is pretty much, actually this is the exact same perks that it had. So you have Mulligan, Rifle Barrel, and Rangefinder. But the good thing about this one is you got Icarus. Now, Icarus is a really good perk on hand cannons. But on top of that, you also got the True Sight IS Sight, which increases your target acquisition even more. So I would definitely pick this up. This is practically a God Roll PvP hand cannon without a doubt. So be sure to pick that up. Then after that, we have the 44 Curtain Call. So this is a PvE roll. So for one, it has aggressive ballistics to increase that impact. Then you got performance bonus, reinforced barrel, and crowd control. So that's a pretty decent PvE roll right there. If you don't have a good PvE shotgun, you can pick this one up. And then next up, we have Anton's Rule. Now, I would actually save, I mean, this is definitely a good roll, but I would save off because there's actually a better one, which is the Wormwood. I'm sure you all know by now. So Sure Shot, then you got Zen Moment, Fitted Stock, and Rangefinder. So that's still a decent roll, but I think I would hold off for the Wormwood because it's a little better. Then after that, we have the Event Horizon. Now this is actually the same thing as the Palindrome because this is the same exact roll as, or it can roll the same exact roll as the one from Rise of Iron. So you got the Short Gaze Sight, Spray and Play, Explosive Rounds, and Hidden Hand. So if you missed the one from Rise of Iron, here's your chance to get it again. And that's actually it from the Crucible Quartermaster. So let's head over to Dead Orbit. So starting off for Dead Orbit, we have the Keystone 01. So this is another PvE scout rifle roll. So once again, you got the MD Reflex, or you can choose between Focus Lens or OEG. Like I said, I prefer MD Reflex. So after that, you got explosive rounds that you can choose between small bore or outlaw, and then finally you have Hidden Hand. So the only problem with this is that sometimes explosive rounds and outlaw, they kind of don't really go too well together because sometimes the explosive rounds will actually kill whatever you're shooting at before you get the headshot. So sometimes outlaw won't proc because of that, but I mean that's still it's very rare that I see that happen, but you know it can happen. So if you're having problems with that, you could run small bore instead of outlaw, but I think that should be fine. So if you don't have a good PvE roll for a scout rifle, this can get the job done. But then after that, we have the Bitter Edge Sniper. So this is actually a pretty good PvP roll right here. So for one, you have the Short Gaze Sight, which is really good. You know, it's one of the lowest zoom scopes. After that, you have Snapshot, which is always good on a sniper, although it was nerfed a little bit. I think I prefer Quick Draw over Snapshot, but you know, Snapshot's still really good to have on a sniper. And after that, you can choose between Hammer Forged or Triple Tap. So unless you're just like a god at sniping and you're sure you're going to land those 3 headshots in a row, I'm probably going to use Hammer Forged, but after that you got Hidden Hand to increase the target acquisition. So I'm pretty sure that this sniper is like 2nd or 3rd in the game when it comes to aim assist. Like, it has an insane amount of aim assist plus Hidden Hand, increases that aim assist even more. So should be really easy to lock onto those headshots with this. Only downside is that it's high rate of fire, low impact, so you're gonna have to land those headshots to get a one-shot kill. And then also you can't one-shot someone out of their super even if you land a headshot unless there's already damage. So that's the only downside of that. But still, if you enjoy these types of snipers in the Crucible, I would pick this up. So then moving on to the Vanguard Quartermaster. To start things off, we have the Parthian shots. So this can be a good role for PvP or PvE. So once again, MD Reflex, and then for the first perks, you can choose between Rodeo or Feeding Frenzy. I'll probably use Feeding Frenzy in PvE and then Rodeo for PvP. But after that, you have Hand-Laid Stock to increase the stability, and then once again, Counterbalance to increase the stability even more. So this is a pretty good roll. The only downside is I'm not really a fan of this archetype of pulse rifle. I feel like it gets outgunned too much, at least when I use it. I'll probably just stick to like my Hawksaw or my PDX 45 or something like that. But if you enjoy these types of pulse rifles, this is a pretty good roll. Then moving on, we have the Angel's Avocado. So this one can actually be pretty good for PvP. So once again, the MD Reflex Sight. Then after that, you have Rodeo to lower the recoil on this. Then Hand-Laid Stock to increase the stability, and then also Hidden Hand to increase your target acquisition. Land those headshots easier. You could, if you're comfortable with the stability and you don't want to run Hand-Laid Stock, you could use Explosive Rounds. That does cause a decent amount of flinch in PvP. Although I think for the most part, I'll probably just run Hand-Laid Stock, help out with that stability. Then last up, we have Lichmi. So the only amazing thing from here is, of course, once again, the Wormwood. This seems to be like a near perfect roll every week, and it doesn't change this week. So once again, you have the Sure Shot Sight to increase your target acquisition. Then after that, the old trusty high caliber rounds, and then Fitted Stock or Army of One, whichever one you prefer. And then after that, you have Rangefinder. So once again, this thing seems to have a amazing roll every week, and it doesn't change this week. So if you don't have a good sidearm, I would pick this up, especially in the sidearm meta that the Crucible is in right now. Now, this right here, I'm only going to recommend this if you don't have a good PvE hand cannon, because this has explosive rounds, perfect balance, and Firefly. I definitely wouldn't recommend this in PvP because for one, it doesn't have anything to increase the range, so you'd be struggling quite a bit. And then the other downside of this is that it only has 7 in the magazine. That can cause some problems here and there in both PvP and PvE. Although this week it is actually the Vault of Glass challenge mode, so if you run that once or twice on one of your characters and do both the challenges, I'm sure you'll get the Fatebringer from that. So if you really need a good PvE hand cannon, I'll just go do that because the Fatebringer is without a doubt the best one in the game. But I mean, if you don't have one and you don't feel like doing the raid, I guess this can hold you over. So anyways, guys, those are the best vendor weapons, at least in my opinion, for this week. So I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I haven't done this the past 2 weeks the past few weeks for the reset. And that's because I normally have class every Tuesday. And normally it's first thing in the morning till about 1 o'clock. So I don't really have time to, come home and record a video and then try to upload it right after that. Because for one, my internet is horrible and it takes me a couple hours to upload a video every time. But I finished with my Tuesday class, so I should be able to do this every week now. So be on the lookout for that. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. So as always, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, if you could take a second to leave a thumbs up on the video, I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos and all that good stuff. And until next time, I will catch you all later.